Alright, so in this video I just want to go through live. This is obviously a live recording. Well, it's live after the fact, but going through and testing this out live. I just wanted to go through the process for everyone out there to basically test drive K10 by Kasten. You know, effectively you've got all these awesome abilities here to try out the K10 product. There is a free version which is free for up to 10 nodes, free forever. So that's amazing when you think about it, right? What that offer is. But I think, you know, you can either effectively go to all of these clouds. You know, you can actually deploy it from there. I'd say, you know, Google Cloud is one of the easiest ways to do it. Just from the marketplace opportunities there. You can obviously deploy your own Kubernetes cluster as well, Red Hat OpenShift, whatever it is, go to DigitalOcean, and then effectively use Helm charts to install it. And I've done that before, but being fresh, I wanted to go in and just take a look at the lab that they have online. So this is going to be me going through it for the first time as well, just to sort of take us through here. So let's go and look at the lab. So it's a 45 minutes. Well, I don't think I'm going to waste all your time doing 45 minutes of this lab, because obviously you guys can do this. So let's submit the request here. Please look for an email from Kasten. So let me look for that email and we'll come back in a second and go to the next step. Okay, so in that email it gave us the link. So let's paste in that link here. Wonder what it's running on actually. Let's take a look and find out. Okay, so it's some sort of online study. Okay, so 8 challenges, 56 minutes. Niraj is the author as well as Travis, so that's pretty cool. So here we go. So, you know, I'm not going to obviously show you guys everything here, but I think the great thing about this is that without even deploying a Kubernetes cluster, you can effectively try the software. So what are we doing here? So we're adding the Kasten 10 Helm repository. So that first step, we're going to install MySQL and create a demo database, install Kasten, view the dashboard, do a manual snapshot, configure an object storage location, create a policy, and restore from backups. Everything that you guys would do. And I think one of the great things about Kasten K10 is its ease of use, right? So I think, again, with you guys looking to effectively get a feel for what Kasten and K10 is all about, this is a great starting point without having to dive into what can be, you know, a steep learning curve to actually deploy a Kubernetes cluster to test it out. So let's basically start this. So what do we got here when we start it? Oh, okay. I always get these wrong. Let's see that. Is not only one of them, excellent. Some of them ask for 2, which is always crazy. So we're setting up the VMs. Ironic. Shouldn't it be containers? No, VMs. With Kubernetes 1.1.8 and storage infrastructure. This will take a couple of minutes, so let's wait until it comes back. Okay, so we've started here. Pretty cool that I mean, obviously this is the nature of the beast, being able to deploy all this stuff really quickly and really easily in the background. So wonder what it's running on actually. That would be quite interesting to work out. Okay, let's start it here. So we're going to basically add the Helm repository. So we're actually, this is pretty cool here. So what have we got in the system? Let's have a look. Can we do stuff? Yeah, we can do stuff. Yeah, so it looks like we've got a proper system to work through. Let's keep control, get nodes. So what have we got here? Okay, so we had a single Kubernetes master deployment. Interesting date on that, 301 days. That's quite interesting. So it's obviously taken from a snapshot. And have we got what's the storage class that we're running through here as well? SC. Okay, this server. Okay, so we haven't got a storage class. It's interesting. Okay, all good. Maybe. Alright, so actually I put that in quickly the second time. So there we go, we're using the host path. Okay, so we've got that storage class there, which will allow us to take snapshots as well. So that's interesting there. Okay, let's add this. So we can just even copy it. Let's paste it in. So I've obviously done this in real life, but it's just interesting to see. Well, when I say real life, I've done it on Tanzu, and I've done it on my own little, standalone clusters that I've deployed on Ubuntu and CentOS. So it's really easy, and that's it. Look at that, bam, has been added to your repositories. So what if I cheat and try to remember some helm commands? Helm, let's see, I think it'll list. Let's see, helm list. Okay, nothing there. What do we do? Right, I'm just going to follow. You know what? I'm just going to follow that in play. Okay, so now what's the next? So connect. Oh, it actually tells you if you're correct here. So you'll be redirected to the next challenge. Okay, so again, that was it. That was the first challenge. We could have done a little bit more there. I wanted to dive in a little bit more, tinker, see what I can do. But now we're going to install MySQL. Okay, very cool, for a test application. So what are we doing here? So again, this is actually really cool. If you haven't done any sort of stuff with Kubernetes, installing things like MySQL, it's really interesting. So let's have a look here. So MySQL, okay. So we're going to ensure that it's running. Let's check out the pods. Okay. So container creating. Can I get out of that? Let's have a look. Oh, yep. So let's see if I can. It's done a watch there as well, by the way. So let's see if the Kasten pods are there as well. That's kind of what I wanted to check before. So kube control get pods -a. Okay, so where are the namespaces? Because Kasten would have installed into its own namespace. Okay, let's do namespace -a. It could be in the default. That's interesting. I can't see Kasten there, but that might just be me forgetting where to look. Okay, so let's make sure that it's running now. So maybe it's in deployments. There we go. Okay, that's running. Let's do MySQL. Okay, so that's running. So I've just gone around that to get it running. Once all the pods have running status, hit Control C to exit. Run the following commands to create a local database. Let's just again copy to clipboard. Let's paste it in. Okay, insecure, that's okay. Let's check and work through. Correct. Excellent. It's really hard to get this wrong though, isn't it? To be fair. Okay, install K10 and you know what? Beforehand we just added. So we added the K10 Kasten to the actual Helm chart itself. So we didn't actually install it. That's why I was looking for it and it wasn't there. I tell you, it's been a while. So there we go. So let's copy this to the clipboard. Let's click on paste. Okay, there we go. So it's created a namespace. That's what I was looking for. I was on the right track, wasn't I? All right. So now let's take a look and see how we're doing with the pods. So again, it's a weird way to do it because I'd kind of go, if they're saying watch -n, I guess it's every 2 seconds. The way that I would do it would be let me click in here. So kube control -n, and I guess we're going Kasten -io get pods. Okay, now, and I would just go, is it watch? Or is it W? No, let's have a look here. So or is it just watch? No, I'll get this. It's just all about memory here. There we go. All right. I guess this is a little different. So here we go. We can see everything's running. I've got Canister running up. Prometheus is creating. So again, really awesome just to see all the components in the namespace as they start up and the dependencies and whatnot. So this is pretty cool. So we want to configure the storage system after this. So this is actually, to be fair, a great way to learn how to get this running on your own Kubernetes platform as well, if anything, right? The demo is pretty cool. So let's wait for this to go through. Okay, everything's running. Maybe the other way is better, because you can see here that I'm just getting it line after line. So if I cancel that, let's run this and see if that actually just makes it look better from a formatting point of view. That's probably why they chose it. Yeah, okay. Righto. So there we go. Oh, okay. So you learn something new every day as well. That's cool. So kube control -n, and then with that sort of thing, the watch -2. Watch -2n every 2 second refresh, go from there. All right, very good. Let's control C out of that. Let's go and set up the storage system. So we are annotating the volume snapshot class to the one that we saw in the first part, and moving it. So I think you can actually do that as well as part of the initial Helm chart. I did blog about that previously, but yeah, so that might be what you can do in that first step anyway, setting that class. But anyway, let's do it there. So it's just editing that. Very good. We are done. This takes 45 minutes apparently. I'm not sure how long we've been on, but I don't think it's been 45 minutes. Let's start that up. Okay, exposing the K10 dashboard, which can be tricky, believe me. This is a tricky situation to do sometimes. What are we doing with node port here? Yeah, so changing node port. You can do it as well if you've got clustered IPs, you can do it that way, but this is kind of the easy way to do it, right? So especially in a single server scenario. So creating the YAML, and let's basically apply that. Very good. Okay. You should be able to view the dashboard and the other tab on the left-hand side. Okay, so K10 Dashboard, let's open it up. Let's go down there, email. This gives you a really good idea of how you actually log into the system to start with. Cool, so there you go. It's even in dark mode for us to start with. So that's pretty cool. It's a really awesome dashboard, by the way. So you've got a tour here. Very simple dashboard, very intuitive. So that's pretty cool there. I'm not going to go through the whole tour for you. So let's check it through. Again, I can't stress how cool this is. It really lowers the time to get used to Kasten K10 and what it does. So next step. So we're going to take a manual snapshot. Okay, so let's just go through this as well. Actually, I'm not going to record this. I'm just going to go through it, and I'll come back at the other side of it. So I'm just going to go through this. I'll fast forward it, and then I'll chat about it afterwards, because you don't want to hear me talking about this process. All right, so that's pretty simple. You saw what happened there. Created a clone from the snapshot. We did a clone. And we just basically proved that the K10 actual demo database was in there as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's go and check next. See what's next in the order. So that was pretty cool. Again, just simple functionality, flexibility, showing how easy it is to create, snapshots of applications manually, and then go from there. So now this is looking cool. We're setting up object storage systems, so the mini IO for application backups. That's pretty cool. So we're going to basically extend to an S3 repository. Again, it's pretty straightforward when you see what it is. We can do it pretty quickly. So I could almost do this actually without going into it. So let's click on. Yeah. S3 compatible. All right, so basically new location, S3 compatible. Profile name, let's have a look here. So I love how this does it. This is really cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a bit of copy and paste here as well. Again, just shows you the ease. Like, Kubernetes can be scary overall, but the simplistic nature of this walkthrough shows you what it actually, how simple it can be. Obviously there's a lot to learn under the surface, but if we're doing it this way, yeah, okay, let's do that. Should really look at instructions, shouldn't I? S3 secret. Normally, maybe I'll blur this. I'll blur that out later just to make sure, I'm sure that key isn't accessible externally. Okay, region, bucket, leave. Region, leave blank, get that bucket going, copy, bam, bam. Okay. Only lowercase, yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, I think I've done everything right there. Note the HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay, it's told us that there. Let's just save the profile. Let's see if that works. Created successfully. I don't want to add that to LastPass, no. Probably not. So now that we've got this here, we can see the endpoint. Let's validate this. Let's check. We're good. Let's move on to the next one. No, I don't want to do that either. Let's just go with never, and let's go not now. Okay, and here's a challenge. Let's start this up. What are we doing here? So backup policy. We're creating a backup policy here. So pretty cool. So let's click on new policy, give it a name. We're obviously going to call it something like, well, they wanted to call it backup MySQL. Snapshots. Let's do. They wanted us to do hourly. Snapshot retention as is. Turn on enable exporting, and every snapshot select the application. So we're going to that bucket that we created. Leave all the other settings as is. Select by name for the application. Okay. Bam bam. Retention period. Durability. Okay, go by name. No filters, so we're selecting the application by name. Leave every other setting as is. Oh, drop down, we've got to select MySQL. Interesting that that cloned one has disappeared, so obviously we're in a new setup here, so they kind of trash it at every step, potentially. Create the policy. And now we're good, so we've got this thing here. And now we want to run it. Run policy. Let's go back to the dashboard. Let's see it cracking on. There we go. Oh no, it's still there. That previous one that we did. Okay, so it's going to go through. It's all nice and quick, and we're done. That's as easy as it is to create a policy, and obviously it's going to run now out of that. So you can see the artifacts. Artifacts are all those bits of the namespace that are getting protected. Total actions completed. It's really nice. Again, such a strong, intuitive application. And you can see here, just while we're looking at it, we're backing up with policy there. These ones are not protected by policies. We could add those to policies or create their own policies. So it's just a really simple system. I can't stress that enough. Okay, last bit. Nearly finished. Restore. Okay, let's start the restore. Okay, for the purpose of the test drive, we're going to drop the K10 database. Pretty cool. Okay, let's paste that in. Drop in the database. Let's make sure that it is actually Gonski. Okay, so it's not there. So what if we did like just, how's my MySQL these days? Surely it's going to just bring everything. No. Percent maybe. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I do remember my MySQL command line. Okay, so the database isn't there. So now let's recover the database. Let's go to the K10 Dashboard. Okay. Application, MySQL. And I think we're looking to do a restore. So from that backup, I think it just wants us to do just a just an overwrite basically almost. So restore it from that point. So you can see all different parts that make up this particular namespace. That's the great thing about Kasten as well. Let's restore that. So let's go to the dashboard, see the restoration. Okay, restore pending, there we go. Have I told you how much I love the interface as well? It's just simple. I can't express that enough. So let's wait for this to finish. Snapshot even. So, okay, the restore's taken place. Let's go and make sure that it's there now. There it is, K10 demo. Okay, cool. And if I use the other command that they wanted us to use, there we go. Cool, very good. That's it. So, end of the day, that is a really simple way to see the value of Kasten K10 without having to spin up a Kubernetes cluster of your own. So, you know, obviously I've showed you this, but get into it because I think the really cool thing about this is you've got a bit of a playground anyway. So how much did I? Well, no, I better not. Just for Niraj, I'll go happy. Thank you. Okay, now that's a really cool simulator because I think what you can also do if you want to, you know, maybe do some Google searching for general kube control or kubectl, I don't know how you ever pronounce it, and you can do stuff on that command line as well. So get a little bit into Kubernetes without having to install it yourself, or pay for it, which is probably more to the point. So yeah, have a go of it. Free version, it's all good. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you found this valuable.